Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Naram chaiva narottamam.
Naram chaiva narottamam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu.
Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke.
Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike.
Bhaktir
Bhakti Naistiki.
Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 Chapter 6 Verse 36. Sarvam tadidam akyatham.
Sarvam tad idam akyatam.
Yat prishtoham tvayanaga.
Yat prishtoham
Tvayanga.
Janma karma rahasyam me.
Janma
Karma rahasyam me.
Bhavat paschatmatoshinam.
Bhavat paschatmatoshanam.
Sarvam tadidam akyatam.
Sarvam
Sarvam tad idam akyatam.
Yat prishtoham tvayanga.
जन्म कर्म रहस्यम में
Shanam.
पश्चात्मतोषणम सर्वं तत् इदम अज्ञातम
Sarvam tad idam akyatam.
यत्प्रष्टोऽहं त्वयाङ्गः
Yatprishtoham tvayanga.
जन्म कर्म रहस्यम में
Janma karma
Karma rahasyam me.
भवतश्चात्मतोषणम
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace of Charanavinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms: Sarvam, all.
Sarvam, all.
That. Idham, this.
Idam,
this.
Akyatham, described.
Akyatam, described.
Yet, whatever.
Yet, whatever.
Prishta, asked by.
Prishta, asked by.
Aham, me.
Aham, me.
Tvaya, by you.
Tvaya, by you.
Anagha, without any sins.
Anagha,
without any sins.
Janma, birth.
Janma, birth.
Karma, activities.
Karma
activities.
Rahasyam, mysteries.
Rahasyam, mysteries.
May, mind.
May, mind.
Bhavat,
Bhavatayor.
cha, and. Atma, self.
Atma, self.
Oshanam, satisfaction. Translation, please repeat after me. O Vyasudeva, you are freed from all sins.
You are freed from all sins.
As I have explained my birth and activities for self-realization as you asked.
Thus, I have
I
explained
have
my birth
explained
and
my birth and activities for
self-realization as you
self-realization
asked.
as you asked.
All this will be conducive for your personal satisfaction also.
All
All
this
this
will
will
be
be
conducive
conducive
for
conducive
your
to
for your
personal
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 satisfaction
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 also.
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 Very good.
The process of devotional activities from the beginning to the stage of transcendence is all duly explained to satisfy the enquiries of Vyasadeva. Narada has explained how the seeds of devotional service were sown by transcendental association and how they gradually developed by hearing the sages. The result of such hearing is detachment from worldliness, so much so that even a small boy could receive the death news of his mother, who was who was his only caretaker, as the blessing of God. And at once he took the opportunity to search out the Lord. A sincere urge for having an interview with the Lord was also granted to him, although it is not possible for anyone to see the Lord with mundane eyes. He also explained how, by execution of pure transcendental service, one can get rid of the fruitive action of accumulated work, and how he transformed his material body into a spiritual one. The spiritual body is alone able to enter into the spiritual realm of the Lord, and no one but a pure devotee is eligible to enter into the kingdom of God. All the mysteries of transcendental realization are duly experienced by Narada Muni himself. And therefore, by hearing such an authority, one can have some idea of the results of devotional life, which are hardly delineated even in the original text of the Vedas. In the Vedas and Upanishads, there are only indirect hints to all this. Nothing is directly explained there, and therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of all the Vedic trees of literatures.
Harium Tat Sat. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञाननिर्शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रसाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमो आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरकथा दामधाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमः। ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरा भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरिहराय नाम कृष्ण यादवाय नमः। गोपाल गोविंद राम श्रीमधुसूदनाम्। मुखां करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्यमीश्वरम्। हरि ओम तत्सत्। So Srila and of Srila Vyasadeva has revealed his personal transcendental birth and activities of the current life, starting from his previous life. How did he into the spiritual realm? How did he into the how the seed are sown in by the Bhakti. So this is very clearly evident that only by the mercy of the Bhakti Vedantas and Krishna, the seed of devotional service can be sown in the heart of a living entity. And to hear also this kind of narrations of transcendental appearance and activities of acharyas like Narad Muni, great devotee incarnation, one should be free from all sins as good as Vyasadeva. Because as Vyasadeva inquired unto the spiritual master Narad Muni started explaining from the very beginning, when he was a very small boy on a Karmi platform without any father and only mother, who was working a servant maid, not very opulent and well established family. From there, he has narrated how he got the association of Bhakti Vedantas by the will of the Lord. So that is the mercy of the Lord that he has got the Bhakti Vedantas association. Guru Krishna Kripa Paye Bhakti Lata Bije. So the seed of devotional service was sown in the heart of Narad Muni by the mercy of both the spiritual master as well as Lord Krishna. So the transcendental association of the Bhakti Vedantas are very important for a conditioned soul to gradually develop by hearing from such sages the transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When they constantly hear and chant the glories and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through bona fide souls, the knowledge and the detachment, jnana and vairagya, automatically fall into place. There is no special efforts required to detach from this material world or acquire knowledge by dint of speculation. Both are not required. Simply by the association of a pure devotee and through the process of hearing and chanting the wonderful name, fame, glories, pastimes, entourage, and instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, one gets detachment and jnana, which is a byproduct. They are not the criteria for bhakti. But what they get, the seed of devotional service is sown in their heart. That they are getting. And once it has got, they should cultivate that very nicely by the association of the pure devotees, the Bhakti Vedantas. Gradually, one will come out of all kind of material attachment. You can see the power of the association of the Bhakti Vedantas to the Narad Muni, who was just a 5-year-old boy at this young age, a tender age of 5 years, who had nobody but mother, and when she is also died, he was able to take that message as a favorable to perform devotional service. Such great knowledge, such great knowledge. The matured yogis and jnanis cannot get. This 5-year-old boy could get it. This is power of association and performance of devotional service. This is the power. Age doesn't matter. Sardhadanasya munayo. Simply with faith you engage according to this Bhakti Vedanta sages to perform the devotions. Even at 5-year-old boy, who has nobody else in the world other than mother, and the mother is also died, he was able to take that as a favor of Krishna. Yaar. Just think, favor of Krishna he has taken. And he immediately did not waste any more time and approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And not much delay, he had an interview with the Supreme Person. These things are not ordinary. It doesn't happen like that. It's a special mercy of the Bhakti Vedanta Vaishnavas and Krishna. This is very, very important. As soon as he heard his mother is no more, he has taken that as a blessings of Krishna. That's the beauty of a devotee. Even in 5-year-old boy, he is an orphan, but he has taken this message of his mother is passed away as a blessing of Lord Krishna. Just see, death news of his mother in a tender age is taken as a blessing of Krishna. How strong at that age itself he was fixed in devotional service by the power of association of the Bhakti Vedantas. And immediately, without delay, he went in search of God. And because of his sincere endeavor within the heart, the seriousness in the process of bhakti, he was granted an interview by the Supreme Person. Prabhupada writes, it is impossible for anyone to see the dead eyes. Just see. And Narad Muni also explained by his own experience that pure transcendental service is so powerful that it not only you from the so-called entanglement of karma and sinful activities, but also transform your material body into spiritual one. This is the beauty of, this is the power of devotional service under bona fide guidance. Because unless otherwise you have got spiritual body, there is no question of entering into spiritual realm. That is why only the pure devotees, they have that visa to enter into the kingdom of God. And the visa is having obtained a spiritual body. And to have attained spiritual body, one should have a bona fide spiritual master. So this is where the beginning. As soon as one accepted a bona fide spiritual master is not for formality. We must understand. Initiation is formality. Spiritual master is not for formality. Spiritual master is a person who has a personal relationship. And relationship means love. Otherwise, there is no meaning to relationship. Whether it is father, son, or mother, son, or husband, wife, or brother, sister, doesn't matter. Relationship means love. It's another name of love. Variety of different love is exhibited as variety of different relationship. So to accept a spiritual master is not formal. Initiation ceremony is formal. Accepting a spiritual master is out of love. The love is based on relationship. And the relationship is another side or another name of love. Out of love, one performs the activity and submit everything to spiritual master. This is the beauty Narad Muni has achieved in his very small age. Every bit of transcendental realization and transformation of the material body into spiritual realm has been experienced bit by Narad Muni himself. And when we hear from such authority about their own experience of how they got a material body and how they got a spiritual body, or how they converted that into spiritual body, then we can understand the result of devotional service prayojana. Because these things are not theory, no. From the Vedas, text of Vedas, we cannot know all these things. These facts are only experiences. And an experienced personality can only narrate this because he's authorized. So Narad Muni, out of his mercy, has narrated this to all of us using Vyasadeva. Otherwise, you will only get some indirect hints, some clues, some theory, which is what to speak of impossible to practice. It is also impossible to believe in ages like this of Kali. Because nowhere these things are directly explained. That is the reason Narad Muni was advising Srila Vyasadeva. Why you are not explaining directly these things which are truly beneficial to every reader? Please be merciful. Please write this Srimad Bhagavatam, which directly propagate, which is the fruit of all the Vedic trees, which directly glorifies the activities of the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Krishna. Please do that. So in order to instruct that, Narad Muni has come and he has not theoretically gave the instruction, okay, write Srimad Bhagavatam and mention all the Supreme Personality of God's activity in that. No. He has shared his personal experience of such association where such narrations are discussed, what transformation it brings in. He put himself as an example that started from his past life, where he started from the material life, from a small boy. He has narrated to explain to Vyasadeva. Look at the power of Srimad Bhagavatam and hearing the same from the bona fide acharyas like Bhakti Vedantas. So this is the result, and I am the live example for you. So please give the same opportunity to one and all the living entities on the surface of the earth. This is the mercy of Narad Muni. This is the mercy. So Shanta Gopi, do you have anything to say, or we'll go to the next? Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 6, verse 37.
Go to the next, please. My throat is gone.
Vacha
Vacha.
evam sambhashya Bhagavan
Evam sambhashya Bhagavan.
Natho Vasavi Sutam
Narado Vasavi Sutam
Amantriya Veenam Rinyayam
Amantrya Vinam Ranayan
Yayau Yadruchiko Muni
Yayau Yadrichiko Muni
Suta Vacha
Suta Vacha
evam sambhashya Bhagavan
Evam sambhashya Bhagavan.
Naradho Vasavi Sutam
Narad Vasavi Sutam
Amantriya Vinam Ranayan
Amantrya Vinam Ranayan
Yayau Yadruchiko Muni
Yayau Yadrichiko
Yadrichiko
Muni
Muni.
Suta Vacha
Suta Vacha
Vacha.
evam sambhashya Bhagavan
Evam Sambhasya Bhagavan
Naradho Vasavi Sutam
Narado Vasavi Sutam
Amantriya Vinam Ranayan
Amantrya Vinam Ranayan
Yayau Yadruchiko Muni.
Yayau Yadrichiko Muni
Synonyms. Suta Goswami.
Suta Goswami
Vacha said.
Vacha said
Vacha said.
Evam thus.
Evam thus
Evam thus.
Sambhasya addressing.
Sambhashya
Sambhasya addressing
Bhagavan transcendentally powerful.
Bhagavan
Bhagavan transcendentally powerful.
Narada Muni.
Narada Muni
Vasavi named Vasavi Satyavati.
Vasavi named Vasavi
Vasavi
Satyavati
Satyavati.
Sutam, son.
Sutam son.
Sutam son.
Amantriya, inviting.
Amartya,
Amantrita.
inviting.
Writing.
Veena, instrument.
Veena,
Veena. Instrument.
Ranayan, vibrating.
Ranayan. Vibrating.
Yayav, wind.
Yaya,
Yayao. Went.
Yadrichika, wherever willing.
Yadrichika. Wherever willing.
willing.
Muni, the sage.
Muni. The sage.
Translation, please repeat after me. Sutta Goswami said,
Suta Goswami said,
Goswami said,
thus addressing Vyasadeva,
thus as
thus addressing Vyasadeva,
Srila Narad Muni took leave of him
Srila Narad Muni
Narada Muni took
took
leave of him,
and vibrating on his Veena instrument,
and vibrating
on his Veena instrument.
he left to wander at his free will.
He left
He left to
wander
wander at his free will.
Purport.
Every living being is anxious for full freedom because that is his transcendental nature. And this freedom is obtained only through the transcendental service of the Lord. Illusioned by the external energy, everyone thinks that he is free, but actually he is bound up by the laws of nature. A conditioned soul cannot freely move from one place to another, even on this earth, and what to speak of one planet to another. But a full-fledged free soul like Narada, always engaged in chanting of the Lord's glory, is free to move not only on earth but also in any part of the universe, as well as in any part of the spiritual sky. We can just imagine the extent and unlimitedness of his freedom, which is as good as that of Supreme Lord. There is no reason or obligation for his traveling, and no one can stop him from his free movement. Similarly, the transcendental system of devotional service is also free. One may be fortunate to have it, or one may not have it, even after thousands of endeavors. Therefore, in all spheres of devotional service, freedom is the main pivot. Without freedom, there is no execution of devotional service. The freedom surrendered, the freedom surrendered to the Lord does not mean that the devotee becomes dependent in every respect. To surrender unto the Lord through the transparent medium of spiritual master is to attain complete freedom of life.
And so, in this way, Narad Muni has given very wonderful instruction, not as a theoretical statement, but practically making Vyasadeva realize the impact of following such instruction of the spiritual master, asking him to write Srimad Bhagavatam as not any kind of, part of the Veda, but as a Amala Purana. Because that can bring in the actual freedom to every living entity who hears it from the bona fide souls. Freedom means freedom to execute pure, unalloyed, loving devotional service beyond all conditions, reservations, and interruptions. That is called freedom. The freedom comes by utilizing the free will given by the Supreme Lord Krishna, and how to use the free will is taught by the spiritual master. This is not very difficult to sit and hear the narration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everybody hears somebody's heroism. But the true hero here has exhibited the true activity, not in cinema, not in drama, not on stage, but actually is exhibiting amongst the human being. Such a wonderful fiat of the Supreme Lord. Who does not want to hear that? So the freedom of performing devotional service is actually obtained only through the loving devotional service performed to Krishna. This is the secret that Narad Muni has revealed, and he has asked Srila Vyasadeva to give that freedom to every living entity. Through the Vedas, Vyasadeva has given not freedom, but a life of a jail to every living entities, that they are all out of attraction for fruitive activities, out of attraction for sense gratification, and in authorized way they wanted to take it. So they follow the Vedic injunctions and rituals, and then they become more and more entangled in the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Now, Srila Vyasadeva, Srila Narad Muni wanted Vyasadeva to relieve, to free them, to give them that freedom, which will free them from this birth, death, old age, and disease, which will free them from the entanglement, which will free them to perform unalloyed loving devotion service. This freedom can only be obtained by engaging them in the activities that are related to Krishna. The Vedic injunctions so far written by Vyasadeva have engaged them in the activities that are related to the personal sense gratification. So Narad Muni wants Vyasadeva to engage them in the activities that are related to Krishna. In this way, the activity which entangled them earlier in the Vedic portions, now the same activity would enable them to be free, enable them to be liberated. This is the instruction Narad Muni has given to Srila Vyasadeva, so that everyone who is in illusion thinking that they are free, they can really become free. Because these living entities are bound by the laws of nature as they start thinking themselves or identifying themselves with the body. As long as they are identifying themselves with the material nature, the law of material nature will act. When they understand that I am not this body, I am nothing of matter, then the law of nature cannot act on him. This is the beauty of law of nature. It is not that law of nature stops working anytime. It never stops. But it cannot act on a person who is self-realized. It cannot act because it is matter. And matter cannot act on spirit. That is the beauty of this truth. And this is delineated by Sri Narad Muni to Vyasadeva very easily by simply narrating those activities and appearance of that Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees who are all not matter. So the material cannot act on them. Now you see Narad Muni has wandering with the Veena instrument, singing the glories of the Lord at his own free will, either in the material universe or in the spiritual universe. And the matter cannot act on him. The same thing happens to every living entity when they start engaging themselves fully unto the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead under the bona fide instruction. So now Vyasadeva has received this benediction from Narad Muni. Now Vyasadeva is also engaged in the pure unalloyed loving devotional service in writing this Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam, you can see, full of chanting of the Lord's glory and nothing else. Similarly, a person Bhagavata is also simply chanting the glories of the Lord and nothing else. That is why we have two. One is person Bhagavata and another is book Bhagavatam. Both of them are simply chanting the Lord's glory. Always, all the time. So they both are free to move not only on the earth, but also in any part of the universe, as well as any part of the spiritual sky. That is real freedom. This freedom is as good as the freedom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what these pure devotees have. Nobody can stop them. There is no obligations for them. There is no reason for their traveling. They are so much free. In the same way, transcendental devotional service is also so much free. That will not entangle you. There are no obligations and nobody can stop you. It cannot be checked. Haituki apratihata. Devotional service cannot be checked by anything that is matter. Anything that is matter cannot check devotional service. And if it is checked, that is not called devotional service. It's very simple. So, the association of the pure devotee is all in all. That can bring in that freedom. That can bring in, this association is available freely now. You see, it is free, freely available. We have to simply accept it. And then we will become free. One should be fortunate enough to get this, Lord Chaitanya says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kone, Bhagyavan Jeev. The Jiva should be Bhagyavan in order to receive the association of a pure devotee. Otherwise, even after millions and millions of endeavors and wandering on the planet and they are traveling across different 8,400,000 of species of life, one may not get. One may not get. One has to be fortunate. So, the difference between the activities in the material world and activities in the spiritual realm is that activities in the material world is an entanglement keeping you in the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease, and every moment you are controlled. Every moment you are controlled by the three modes of material nature, and you are bound by the nature's law. Where in all spheres of devotion service, freedom is the pivot. Freedom is the pivot. Every moment you are free. Every moment you are free. In fact, devotional service cannot be executed in a conditional state. Put in a nutshell, devotional service can only be executed when one is free, when one is liberated, when one is free from any kind of reservations, restrictions, or, abhilashas. Anya abhilashita sunya. It should be free. Then devotional service, because that's the nature of devotional service. That means what? That means surrender your freedom to the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that you will be fully free. So that you will become fully free. You will not be dependent on every respect then. And how to surrender? Surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead happens only through the medium of, transparent medium of the spiritual master. Then you get complete freedom in life. The conclusion of this purport is that when you accept a bona fide spiritual master with bona fide consciousness, with a proper consciousness, then you will get complete freedom of your life, wherein you can begin your devotional service, which is free. That is the conclusion of this. Any questions or suggestions? So Saurav has asked a question. As you told, relationship means love, love means to serve, love should be mutual, mutually translates to reciprocation. As the frequency of reciprocation increases because of services, love depends, and so do the relationship. Conclusively, there cannot be one-sided love. Ek taraf pyar. How do you feel reciprocation from Guru and Krishna, explicitly from spiritual master? Well, you see, Love is actually both-sided. The problem here is we are not reciprocating to Krishna and the spiritual master. They are loving. They give us love so much. You just take, for example, you take an orange. If you take an orange, you peel it, and then you take from that, how just to see the juice is packed into the bag, filled with very sweet and so nicely packed, and all the bags together is again packed layer after layer so nicely that even you can eat with the layers. You think this is to exhibit the supreme intellectual thing by the Supreme Lord? Huh? Does he want to exhibit that you see my work? No. Only if one has abundant love and care can he give that. Can he create? This is just one example. Take that orange. You just analytically see that how beautifully it is packed when it is coming in your hand. When you start peeling it, you see how it is. When you take it, you see how many bags of juices he has sent to you. You think it is to show his intelligence? Absolutely not. It has no intelligence. It has no law of karma. It has no any mystery. It has simply love. Love of Krishna. Out of love, Krishna sends all these packages to us. Who is not reciprocating? We are not reciprocating. We don't even remember Krishna. We don't, even after witnessing his what is supplying, after tasting it shamelessly, after eating that, enjoying, we still don't reciprocate the love. One is getting sense enjoyment only out of love when someone gives. And Krishna is giving out of love and we are enjoying and we don't reciprocate. It is not Krishna is not reciprocating. We are not reciprocating. Same thing with the spiritual master. This person has come all the way from Golok Vrindavan here. Only out of love. Out of love for Krishna, he wants to take care of all whom Krishna loves. If Krishna doesn't love us, why should spiritual master come? Spiritual master is coming out of love of Krishna is on all of us, and we have forgotten Krishna and we have forgotten the love. The true love is missing. We are not reciprocating. The reciprocation increases, as you say, because of services, but only Krishna is serving. In the form of Paramatma is serving, in the form of nature is serving, in the form of so many things. He is serving, he is appointing 33 million demigods to serve you. He has appointed servants. He is directly also serving. So much of service. So service is increasing. Where is the reciprocation? Where are we giving reciprocation? How much more you want him to increase the services? When we start reciprocating, then service from our side will also exhibit. That is called devotional service. He is not our order supplier. He is not bound. He is free. We are only bound. So we have to reciprocate to the love of Krishna. We have to reciprocate to the love of Guru by seeing him, by hearing about him, by speaking to him, by engaging in service unto him, by offering something out of love to him, a rose, a flower, a lotus, something, whenever we see him, an apple, a fruit, something you offer. In this way, the love can be felt. They have abundant love on us. They don't need to increase the love. They are showing it also, and they are showing it through service. They are coming down here to the material world where they don't have any business, only to show that love they are coming. But we are dumb fools. We are not reciprocating to that love. This is our fault. So we have to correct ourselves. The mistake is with us. Let us reciprocate. Let us appreciate how they are serving, how they are serving us, how they are giving us the remembrance of what we have forgotten. That is why we love to chant the holy name all the time. This is a reciprocation. And when we chant the holy name, the reciprocation begins because it have connection to the Lord from us. Connection from the Lord to us is already there because his love is flowing through all the services that he is offering us. He is giving us every facility in every body to live as much as you like. Every desire he is fulfilling. But connection from us to him is missing because we are not reciprocating. So when we start chanting the holy name of the Lord, connection from us is also beginning. Then we will be able to see, oh my God, this is love, so much he's loving. Otherwise, how would I get all these things? Then we will start realizing gradually. This is a gradual process. Mutual reciprocation is required. Only one side is going on. From the Lord and Guru, it is coming. When we will start reciprocating, then we will feel the love. Then the love will sprout automatically from the heart. It's already there, actually. It is not sprouting. It is already there. It is not sprouting because it is dormant. It is dormant. We don't react at all to what all the Lord does, to what Guru does to us. We are so much indebted, but we don't even feel the gratitude because we are living like stone because we accepted the dead matter as self. How can dead matter reciprocate here? How? It is impossible. As long as we identify ourselves with the dead matter, how can we exhibit our reciprocation? So the self-realization should come. Reciprocation happens at the soully platform, not in the bodily platform. Use everything in the service of Krishna. Who is using? The soul should use the body, parts, and everything in the service of Krishna. This is the way we reciprocate. That is why by rendering devotional service only, it is possible to reciprocate the love of Krishna and Guru. So we have to act from our side. And the process is very gradual because all in all, we have the dead matter as our self-realization. So you have to spiritualize this so that you can reciprocate the love. You have to spiritualize. And in this purport, we have seen in today's purports that the only way to convert this particular material into spiritual so that you can reciprocate is performing devotional service. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So we are practicing that under the ball of a spiritual master who teaches us how to reciprocate the love of Krishna. Any other questions or comments or realization?
Thank you. No. It was wonderful.
Three. One. Zero. So, and with the chanting of the Lord, followed by Srimad Bhagavatam class. Patita
Jai.
Patita Pavan Sri Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva